Hi everyone, welcome back to Crochet Rocks. Tracy here, and I have some finished objects and a bit of a WIP to do today. So first off, I'm going to show you my finished object that is absolutely 100% done. Now, I don't know if you've watched me for a little while, you'll know that I was going to make my partner a scarf. Especially for the fact that we are going away on a mini cruise. It's going to be really cold, obviously. So because we're going to Christmas markets, I shouldn't say obviously, we might have been going warmer places, but we're really not. So he lost his scarf, so I said, oh, I will make you a scarf. Now it's a bit of a mission to make anything for Gary, because when you see people make things for their other half or for men on YouTube, 9 times out of 10 my Gary wouldn't wear them, because they have to be old-fashioned manly, you know what I mean? You can't wear any of these slouchy beanies or kind of interesting stitch that could be unisex. To him, he'll look at it and go girly, and he won't wear it, you know, he just wouldn't. So I've tried making him hats in the past as well, but Gary has a hearing aid, so if I make the wrong kind of hat or in the wrong place, his hearing aid's going to whistle, so he won't wear them either. So consequently, to this date, I've not really made anything for Gary that he's ever really wanted to wear. But this is my scarf that I made for Gary. It's definitely one he will wear. So first off, I chose some yarn when I went out to Hobbycraft. I did one of my yarn quests and went to Hobbycraft. They've not really had very good yarn over the last year and a half. Their prices have skyrocketed. A lot of the brands that I used to like getting from them, they didn't get anymore, so consequently I put them in my shop instead. So their loss was my gain. But you know, I like to do yarn quests and get yarn from elsewhere occasionally, even though I have my own yarn shop and brands. So obviously you haven't found that, there's a link to my shop in the description box, and I do ship worldwide. But consequently, anyway, I bought some yarn which I thought would be perfect for Gary. Now I should have a ball to show you, shouldn't I? But I'm not sure if I've got any actually visible. No, I don't. So sorry about the face explosion. It's my, yeah, it just does it to Joan. Might not do it when she's wearing all this get up though. Sometimes it doesn't. Anyway, I haven't got a ball to show you, but it's all manly colours. So now the very first part of making this scarf, I hit a snag because I should have brought the end of ball. I'll go get it. Hold on just a second. I'm coming. Field trip. Here it is. This is the end of the ball, and I'm not sure I'm going to be able to find the kind of bit I'm talking about, but it is very, very, very much so a roving yarn. So you get these thin areas. It's lovely colours for him. You know, like I said, he's got to be ultra manly. Here we go. And then it all of a sudden, no, it's not really it, is it? Hang on, let me just wind it while I talk, then we may come across it. So it is ridiculously roving. And there are 2 problems I had with this yarn. Firstly, the fact that it is so fat in places. In my very first foundation row, it was going like this, and suddenly there was this bump. So I figured I'm going to have to put a border on that and hope that it doesn't really happen while I'm doing the border. So yeah, I kind of got over it in that way. It didn't look quite, there we go. We've got to a roving bit. Now this isn't as fat as it can get, so it goes from this real thin to this fat yarn, and in some places it's really mega fat. I've got to wind the whole thing now. And then in other places it's mega thin. So the thin and the fat doesn't really bother me while I'm working, but on that edge it was a pain, and you couldn't really manipulate it because then again on the edge you've got a join, which I would still have to put a border on to disguise. But I really liked the colour differences in this yarn. It looks pretty stark there, but when I show you my scarf in a second, the way they work together is really nice. So in some ways I really love this yarn. It's really nice, and the colours work together, and the stitch I decided on, or stitch combination that I decided on, really works well together. But when you're working with this yarn, it twists, and it kept tangling, and I kept having to pull it apart because for some ridiculous reason it would just twist up, and I have no idea why. So now I've balled that, that's fine. And so that really annoyed me all the way through. I had to keep untangling my work, well, the yarn, you know, before I could do it. And a couple of knots appeared, which was really something. So here it is. Anyway, this is the scarf that I've made. Now the colours changes do look a little starker than they are in reality. This is the right way around, but it's not quite as bright as it's looking there. The lighter colour is a more subtle grey. If I show you that part there, I don't know if you can see that part. That's more kind of in keeping with how it looks with the naked eye. This is the reverse side, but it doesn't actually matter. No, this is the right side. It doesn't actually matter because the reverse side isn't horrible. You know, it's not like you'd say, oh, you've got your scarf inside out. But this side looks more ribbed, and this side has a little bit of a pattern to it. So it's got, I don't know if you're going to zoom in, there's these two quite pronounced ridges, and then it kind of does rib, and then at the end that rib becomes just a border, and it's different. So I quite like it. I like the way that worked out. You can't really see it so well just looking at it like that. It just looks like ribbing, but that's what I wanted. That was the effect that I wanted. I want it to look like I've knitted this scarf. And the reason I didn't knit this scarf was because the yarn, I felt when I was making a scarf with it, I didn't like any of the stitches. I tried brioche stitch, I tried fisherman's rib, I tried all sorts, but that fat and thin aspect was really destroying the effect of those stitches. Didn't like it at all. Really hated it, because when it's fat, it's very, very fat. That's the problem. Now it doesn't, you see there, you can see there's a real big kind of chunky rib. So it's okay on this. It just has this kind of, like it's meant to be with these two rib structures there. But so I've got like a little bump, you can see like a little bump there, but it's not too bad. It's kind of, it hides it on the border. What I was able to do was when I came to the border and I got to one of those really, really chunky fat bits. So there's chunky bits and then there's chunky fat bits. When I got to those, I just did the stitches extra tight. And so they did bump, but they didn't go absolutely huge, which they did on the first part when I did my chain and then did my first row. So on the edge I decided to put, because I wasn't happy, I really did a long chain, but it kind of shrunk as I worked. So I thought, and I've got to do a border. What am I going to do at the end? Because I didn't want to put tassels. I just didn't want that. I didn't want to do any kind of fringing. So I decided to rib it. So that's what I did. I put a ribbed edge, not along this. I was going to do a rib all the way around, but I worked it in the round. And so that was quite easy, really, just to put this cuff, like a ribbon cuff, on the ends. I could have carried on and gone even further, but I ran out on that yarn. So I would have had to have gone and got another ball, which isn't such a problem. I could have done that easily. And what I'll do is when Gary gets home, I'm going to let him put this on, and then he can decide if he wants me to go a little longer with it. I can just go find another ball, reconnect it, and just do another 3 or so rounds. Won't be a problem. It'll just be a little bit fatter and a little bit longer. But I did worry that I wouldn't get it done in time. I thought about it. I thought, no, you're definitely going to get it finished. We go on Sunday. We're busy tomorrow, but not all the time. I mean, I would have time to work on it. But I did worry that I wouldn't get it done. And then I suddenly thought, you will. You're not that slow at crocheting, even though I've got lots of other things happening and very busy with my shop and all that sort of thing and going out and doing stuff. So I thought, no, you'll definitely get it done. So even if he wants it a bit wider and a bit longer, I'll still get it done. So that, and I'm sorry I didn't bring the ball in to show you, but I was just going to do this as a WIP video and I didn't really come armed. So the other thing is this. Now this is a Christmas stocking, which I do have a tutorial for. Incidentally, I'm not sure if you want me to do a tutorial for that stitch, well, it's stitch combination. But this is for Gary's daughter Charlotte, her little girl River. It's time for her to have a Christmas stocking. So I made Sophia one when she was little, and now River is 4, so I'm making one for her. I did make one for Harley and Tyler, although for some reason they don't have Harleys. I don't know if it's in my boxes somewhere, but I got this name it's actually pink. It's very, very pale. Would have been nicer if it was slightly brighter, but I got 2 of those, one to sew on each side. Now the other Christmas stockings I made, they weren't chenille. This is made with James C. Brett Flutterby. If I were making it again, I would make it with Squeeze Me yarn because it is slightly thinner. This is a chunky, where that's classed as a DK, but I think Squeeze Me is more of an Aran when you work with it. Let me just see if I have one. No, yeah, here we are. So this one, the yarn band fell off, so it is mine. And although they call this DK, I think that's going to work up with the fluff. That's going to work up more of an Aran, to be honest with you, because yeah, it's thin, like a DK weight in the strand, but it's hairy, for crying out loud. So it's not going to work up. So I reckon it would be more of a 4 weight Aran yarn. But I love the feel of this one, and I've just thought, well, when I did the others, I made them from DK or Aran yarn, which you call 4 weight, in across the pond, and I made things to go on. I made a wreath, and everybody had different things. I made reindeers with red noses and antlers, and I made Father Christmas with a big bushy like furry beard. I did so many things, Christmas trees, wreaths, everything, stars, all kinds of things went. And if I tried to make it fit the person, so if that person was into pandas, I put panda on it. Yeah, so that's what I did with all of those. But with this being chenille, it's not really that kind of yarn, so I just got the name with the Santa on it, and I got one for each side. So that's almost a finished object. It's nearly a finished object, but as I say, I do have a tutorial for that. I haven't got a tutorial for this, but I'm willing to do one for the stitch. Oh, and I made these. Now I do have them in the other room actually, because what I did made 3 hearts. I did first of all a small heart, and then I made it a bigger heart, and then I made a padded heart with this loop. And the way I do my loops, I make it quite a solid, it's not kind of an open chain, if you like. I make it like a solid I-cord sort of thing. And I'll show you how I do that as well. I've always done those on ties because I think it's so much better than just a baggy kind of chain. But I also bought some blanks of, oh, there should be in here actually, key rings. There they are. so that I could make these into key rings. The reason I did that was because some time ago I wanted to make hearts anyway, but then I got a nice piece of happy mail from one of my subscribers, Linda Fairbrother, and she sent me a padded heart. This is just stuffed with the same yarn that I made it with, so that, you know, you're not going to see any colours through it because it's just stuffed with this blue yarn. But hers was, I think, a kind of a spongy, I don't think it had like a little case inside, but I thought, you know, just stuff the yarn in, and that way it's not going to show. So that's what I did. So when she made that, she sent me a key ring, and it was so cute. I thought, well, once I did these hearts, I thought, come on then, let's do one. And my daughter-in-law Victoria wanted one, a tutorial, so I thought I will do it. Okay, that's why I turned my little heart into a bigger heart and then a padded heart. So that tutorial has been done as well. Now all my tutorials, there they are, there's the other one. Excuse me. All of my tutorials, well, apart from the odd one that I missed, which I will have to figure out and sort out someday, are right and left-handed, so you can have one or the other. So this is my Boggy Creek blanket that I've been working on, and I'm going to do a little bit of this now with you. So if I have to pause this video, I'm waiting for the postman. Postman's coming to collect my orders for my shop, Hobby Rocks, and as I said, there is a link in the description box to that shop, hobbyrocks.co.uk. And let's move I do sell these actually, it's wall genies. They're a godsend, to be honest with you. I love mine, couldn't work without it now. I even take it in the living room if I'm sitting on the settee on my own. I will bring it in and put it where Gary would normally sit, and I even work with it in there because it's just so nice not to have the ball rolling around the floor getting tangled, or, you know. And if you've got the best will in the world, if you've got pets, you might get hair on it, or even if you've got long hair like mine, which you know, that falls out, you're going to get fluff or hair or whatever on it. So it's you're not gonna, you can't see, can you? I'm gonna have to move this down a little bit. Doesn't matter if it cuts my head off at all. Let's just have a look at the working. I can shoot from more angles apparently. Let's move closer. Get a nice view of the chin. Oh, don't like that. After Christmas, I'm going to be working on that chin. When I mean working on that chin, I don't mean I'm going to be making it bigger. I'm going to work on making it smaller with a diet. So, but that's got to be really after Christmas. Now, I love this yarn. It's really pretty. I got it, believe it or not, in the summer in a cancer research charity shop, which since I had cancer, I do try and support that shop whenever I can by giving them my things that I, you know, would normally give to charity rather than throw out. And I used to do that with Demelza House, which was a children's hospice, but they not in the, well, it's easier to get to the cancer research one, and it is kind of a cool cause that's close to me, having been you know, inflicted with cancer at one point in my life. At the moment all clear, but I always feel like, you know, on edge about it, really, like it could come back. But so far all of my follow-ups have been good, and I'm in my this is my 4th year, so it's been 3.5 years since my operation. But, you know, I still like to support them and give money to them, because, as they say, 1 in 2 of us, 1 in 2 is a lot of people. So yeah, sorry about cutting off my head, but without going vertical, there's not much other way I can do this, which I don't think many people actually like the vertical. I've had a bit of feedback on that in the past where people don't really like it, so I do my best to try and just drop it down so you can see my working rather than the top of my head looking down. Excuse me, I don't know where that's come from. Now, if I do get the postman arrive, I may at that point say goodbye, because I don't really want a mega long video. It would, you know, I feel like there's only so many watch hours in a day that you guys want to sit and watch my videos, etc., or other videos. So I'll do, oh goodness, if it's not very long, I will say pause it and come back, but otherwise I might just have to kind of sort of abruptly end, because after he's been, I'm also expecting a parcel, but once that's been, I have to pop out. I had a bit of a saga where my doctor, I have a cream that I've been using since the 90s, where they suddenly removed it from my repeat prescription. I mean, it's a prescribed cream that I need, and according to them, I'd not had it since January, which is just ridiculous because I have it all the time. You know, it's not something that I can go without for longer than maybe a week before I need to sort of get it out and use it. Sometimes more than others, you know, but to say, I've had this with them before where they'll say, oh, according to our records, you haven't used this and since whenever, and I'd go, no, that's just not true. You know, I get it all the time from you. I don't get it from anywhere else. It's a prescribed medication. So we have this ongoing battle with their system, and they trust their system as being correct, so that they think you're making it up. And for goodness sake, you know, not all systems are infallible. They delete data, and they're obviously deleting, or it's only as good as the person that's updating it. Maybe they're not updating it properly. I don't know, but whatever. I need to collect it before I go on my little mini break, so I have to go get it today, which is a nuisance, but can't be helped. I've got to get it. Oops, but I've got to wait for postman and delivery first, isn't it? I mean, it's they think that everything is such progress, don't they? But you know, you just think, why can't we go back to the way things used to be? You know, if it weren't broke, why did they need to fix it? You know, it's the same with all these press 1 for this, press 2 for that, and 9 times out of 10 the options you've got are not covered in the options you're presented with, and you just think, oh, just remember when you rang somebody, and if they were busy, you got your busy tone and you just rang back. But now you've got to sit on the phone or have it on loudspeaker trying to get on with your life, but you're listening to some awful music as well, just waiting in a queue basically to get cut off. That's another thing. 9 times out of 10 sit in that queue, and then when you're actually nearly at the end of it, you get cut off, or you, oh wait, my first thing I always say to them is, if I get cut off, will you call me back, because I'm not waiting in that queue again. I think, yeah, sure, I'll ring you back. But if you don't say it, you know full well they won't. But honestly, I'm moaning, aren't I? But it just takes so much of your time, doesn't it? Time that you could be doing other things. So I guess that's what the beauty of crochet and knitting and things like that. So if you've got to wait in that queue, you could just grab it, and you're not exactly wasting your time. Then at least you're getting on with something. But yeah, never mind. This is progress, isn't it? And now we've got chatbots and rubbish like that on our websites. Rest assured, hobbyrocks.co.uk will never ever get a chatbot. Never gonna get a customer service bot. So don't worry about that. There'll be no interactive robots on my site. It doesn't matter how big I get. You know, it doesn't matter if I become a multinational corporation, which I highly doubt. No chatbots. No. None. Ever. It's just too much inconvenience for everybody. And no call centres abroad either, while we're on the subject. It is just so annoying though, isn't it? I used to have lots of patience for it, you know, sitting on the phone, but it's just got worse and worse and worse with the advent of AI. They think they're doing such a great job. They're not. I'm loving this. I don't think it can be far off now, me putting the border on. I thought that last time, but I'm just doing another round with this yarn. And then I also need to start making my middle, because I'm going to do something in the middle over this lighter part, which I wasn't keen on. It's not the fact that it's lighter, it's because I feel like these holes are more visible. I want it to be the same. So I'm putting something there, and I made one part just to see whether I liked it. So I need to get onto that. Now I've forgotten how I made that anyway, so I'll tackle that when I get back from my little mini break. We're going to see a couple of Christmas markets. We're going to Amsterdam, The Hague, and we're going to Hamburg. We're going to this like River Elbe cruise, and then Christmas market, which I don't remember the name of that one, but it's apparently a very pretty one, so looking forward to that. Lots of Christmas lights and Christmas cheer. Not that I'll be participating in any alcoholic Christmas cheer. Last time I went to a Christmas market, it was in Berlin, and I did really enjoy the glühwein and some of the eggnog, but I won't be doing that this year because after my cancer I gave up drinking. My cancer was an oral cancer, and they call them the smoker drinkers cancers. And the fact that I never smoked and I rarely drank, I was just unlucky to get it. But the way I look at it is I don't ever want to encourage its return. So if drinking is a culprit, then I didn't drink enough to miss it. Sometimes, you know, like I said, getting an eggnog or a glühwein at a Christmas market, or a glass of Baileys or chocolate Baileys, sometimes I miss that, but I won't do it. Even though my surgeon said, I'm not going to tell you that the odd glass of Baileys is going to kill you. But even though he said that, I still cannot bring myself to actually do it. You know, I always said I didn't need to drink. I'm silly enough with Coca-Cola. So I don't actually need it in my life. But recently we went to a little pub while we were waiting for something, Gary and myself, and I had a no alcohol Stella Artois, which was actually really nice. These alcohol free beers and ciders have really come on now, and they actually do taste quite well. Somebody did buy me alcohol free gin once. It tastes like gin, be honest with you. But there is a really nice lemonade, an adult lemonade out there as well, that's kind of got a hint of roses. I had it at a recent meal. Really need to find that brand and maybe get it, because that does make you feel like you don't always want a soft drink. You don't always want what you might consider a kid's drink. Sometimes you just want an adult flavour. And I used to do that in pubs anyway. When I didn't want to drink, I used to just drink a tonic water. They're not particularly good for you either. So, you know, I don't really want to drink those. But occasionally I just have a bitter lemon or a tonic with ice. Makes you feel like you've actually got a drink. So, yeah. Anyway, I don't really miss it so much. Just the odd occasion when you're, you know, social things and Christmases and stuff like that. So this is actually finishing on a quite a nice double colour, although it is slightly different. This colour is darker, slightly different to the previous round, but it's I think it's finishing it off quite nicely with the double colour. And I've still got a fair bit left, so I don't think I'll get the whole way round. Perhaps underneath this one is the beige colour, the sand colour. It's just a simple granny rectangle. I only wanted a simple granny so that I could maybe do this watching TV. But recently Gary's scarf has overtaken this one because I needed it had a deadline, so I needed to get it done. And if I hadn't got my shop and other things going on, I would have made an awful lot more Boggy blankets. I've already sent one off, and I've got this one and another one that I'm making, but I would have done more. I also need to make a baby boy blanket, and I don't know when that baby is due, so when I get home from my little mini break, I need to sort that, or maybe I'll take it with me. And but I don't know what stitch to do. I don't know how much kind of doing nothing time we'll have, you know. One thing I'm looking forward to is it's not just going to be Christmassy when we get there. It's going to be Christmassy on the ship, which will be kind of interesting. I know I've never been on a ship. I've been on a ferry, but I've never been on any kind of cruise or river cruise in my life, so I'm really looking forward to it. I'm taking my recording equipment, and so I will be doing videos and carrying on a little bit of vlogging and maybe doing some out and abouts. So yeah, I will be doing, and you never know, I might even find some yarn. Well, I doubt it, but perhaps, you never know. Wouldn't that be fun? I'm going to be on the lookout for everything, so we'll see. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know, what have you actually got on your hook at the moment? Are you making Christmas gifts? I've made very little in terms of Christmas this year. I think made none, to be honest. One Christmas stocking and a scarf for Gary that's not a Christmas gift. Other than that, I've not made anything. Not really had the time, to be honest. But usually I do. You know, I make people's hats and scarves and fingerless gloves and all that sort of thing. But I haven't done anything. Not a stitch. I did have a think about it at one point. I was going to see if I could make my grandson Harley a Roblox blanket, but I couldn't really sort that out in time for a start. And because last year I made Tyler a creeper blanket, which I still have the tutorial for. If I can remember, I'm going to put a link to that at the end, because I haven't linked that for a while, and it's not that difficult. I mean, it's quick to make, and the template for it is in a download on my shop, hobbyrocks.co.uk. So if you wanted to get the template for it, it's over there. There's a link in the description box to my shop as well, but I will try and link the video. There are two. There's one making of, and then there's the joining and border. So there's two videos, because it was not a crochet along exactly, but you have to give people time to make all the squares and stuff like that. But I'll link it anyway. First off, I made Harley a Super Mario many years ago now. Well, it can't be many, it's not that old, but you know what I mean. It's quite a few years ago. And then I made the Creeper, but I wanted to make the Roblox, but he's into this, is it Potato Man, I think, and it's really hard to to find a decent picture to make. I could probably try and do the symbol, but it's just black and white. So, and there was one I wanted to make for Gary as well, and I haven't got around to doing that. One of these days I'll get around to it. So tomorrow, hopefully without any hitches, we're going to be seeing both of my grandsons, both of my sons, and both of their partners. Wouldn't that be cool? I'll say without, you know, fading any hitches, but hopefully we're not going to get the storm and have any problems because of the storm. I think it's going to be mostly over the west side of the country. So, yeah, I don't think we're going to get hit by it. But you never know, do you really? No, you do not. How far have I got? I've gotten a bit further to go. I've got a feeling I won't get the whole round made with you, because it should be any minute really that the postman comes. They have been getting a bit later just recently with all the Christmas mail, Christmas parcels. It is taking him longer to get round than he would normally. So normally I can say, oh yeah, by 11:15 he's usually here, but I don't think he's anywhere. I think it's long gone really, that time. I can't see my time from here. Oh, can I? I was looking at my computer, but no, I don't have the clock. I used to have a big time displayed on my computer screen, but on this one I don't. I almost bought a new laptop the other day. I'm so glad I didn't, because I don't actually need it. It would have just been a whim. And Gary was there encouraging me. Why don't you do it? Why don't you get one for your business? Why don't you do? And he said, you know, just get a nice new one. And I thought, well, this isn't that old. It's only a couple of years. And when you're talking the life of a Mac, they go on forever. You don't really need upgrading those. Not like a Windows computer where you think every few years, you know, it's a bit obsolete now. It doesn't happen with a Mac. My last one I had stupidly like 15 years before I even had to, because it was no longer upgradable. The newer operating systems and stuff were just not compatible with it anymore. So I had to get a new one. But this time, you know, for the sake of a couple of years, I think I got it in 2022, 2021, something like that. I think it was 2022, because 2021 I got a small one to tide me over until the big one came out, and it was a bit delayed. So, you know, really it's only been a couple of years, so I don't feel like I need it for yet maybe another 20 years. No, I probably will get one before that, but I won't get one for the sake of getting one. It'd have to be an absolutely massive leap of an advancement for me to do that. And you know, you can always upgrade the operating systems for free with a Mac anyway. So I'm so glad I didn't do it. You know, when it comes to phones and gadgets that I need for business, yeah, but unnecessary. I mean, this thing does everything I need it to do. So, and if I bought the new ones, they'd still just do the same thing that I'm doing now. So I don't feel like I need to do it. Oh, we're changing colour. We have gone to the sandy colour. I was hoping that it might go all the way round with that kind of bright greeny colour, but no. we have changed colour on the last stretch, I think, and a bit. Last stretch and a little bit. Never know. With the delay in post service, I might get it all done. I somehow doubt it though. So are you all prepared for Christmas in terms of, you know, makes? Or obviously was a stitch mark a piece of I think it might have come out of my sewing needle actually. So when I say prepared, I don't mean, obviously I've got very little present buying left to do. Maybe just a couple of things which will have to wait until I get back, otherwise they could be delivered while I'm not around. So I've got a couple of presents, but that's all. We've got a fair bit of the food which you can get ahead of time, because I had my Tesco's vouchers from my shop, like coupons that you get with your loyalty cards, and we just went and bought a few things. A little bit of Christmas beer for Gary and that sort of thing, and some soft drinks. But and I got some alcohol-free Copperberg, and we got a few nibbles, but not all of them. But obviously most of it has to wait because it's stuff you need to get near at the time. But I do feel for once we are quite prepared. Yeah, and I even put my Christmas tree up, so that's all done. Gary put the lights on, and for 2 days it just had lights, no baubles. And then yesterday I thought, oh come on, normally you'd have been all over that as soon as he did it. So kind of like, find the box and get them on. It really looks pretty now, so I'm glad I did it. But it's a massive tree. Still haven't done the top part because Gary has to do that. I can't reach it. And he was a bit tired after work. And well, he had another shift as well, so I guess he'll be really looking forward to a break and getting away. I haven't really looked. Oh, you can see me. I haven't really looked. Now, the other day, something popped up on my YouTube, and I thought, oh, that looks interesting. And I watched it, and this girl held her hook and her yarn exactly the same way as me. It was between the same 2 fingers, and I thought, that's amazing, really. I don't often see that. You know, my mum taught me, and she taught me this exact hold, if you like, and the way that the yarn just drapes between these 2 fingers, and I can open and close them enough to get the tension how I want the tension to be. So I'd never seen anybody else apart from me and mum, but there she was, and I thought, it's identical, between the same fingers and holding the hook exactly the same way. I thought, that is amazing. And it wasn't, the thing that had popped up was 2 years old as well. So, I mean, I suppose she could have watched my channel. She could have learnt from me. I don't know, but I don't think so somehow. So it's just a kind of a huge coincidence. I wonder if she was taught by an old timer the same as me. Old timer. My mum was here. She'd box my ears for that. Well, she was an old timer. Yep, this is my last stretch. Looks like I might get it done. Although I thought I just heard the post van. Maybe not. He might be a little bit away, you know, might be a few doors back. But we'll see. It's got a very distinctive sound. Have you noticed, though, how you recognise the sound of some vehicles? Like, I always knew when my mum and dad were home. And I always knew, you know, when the kids were little, when my husband was home. And now I know when Gary's car's approaching. It's just got, they have a sound that you can identify, you know, that is their car. Weird that, isn't it, really? Apart from electric cars, they're so quiet. I bet there's going to be an awful lot of people run over just not hearing cars come in. they should have a, you know, like gas has an artificial smell. Maybe electric cars need an artificial sound, because, you know, they are deadly quiet. And I noticed it when we went to see Jamie, and he would kind of reversed his car out the space because there wasn't really enough room for us to get in, and we heard absolutely nothing, which is quite dangerous for Gary, because, you know, he doesn't hear everything anyway. And he had no chance. I thought, you know, you have to be really vigilant now with, you know, watching out for these cars, because you just can't hear them. And I think that's dangerous. I do think they should have a little sound of sorts, you know, like brum or something. I know that would defeat the object. Sorry, did I wake you up with my loud noise? Sorry. I keep hearing what I think is the postman, because he stops periodically. I feel like I'm hearing him, you know. But all I've got to do is get to the end of this row and it won't matter. I'm on a race against him. I know he's out there. I kind of hear the noises. Never know, he might be caught talking. Wow, nearly there. It seems to take forever to get round now. As it gets bigger, it does. Whoops. Right, so it's December, guys, which means I'm going to do some December giveaways. Obviously, they won't end in time. Well, some of them will. I'll do some quick ones. Like my calendar, that was won by Darren McKeehan. So I ended that so that it would get to them in time. But obviously, I didn't hear in time, so it won't go today. Unfortunately. So, but there's still plenty of time. But I also have to send some happy mail out as well, because one of my membership perks is happy mail. And although I did send some in the summer to one of my members who is in that tier, I thought I would now do it Christmas for those members in that tier. So I've packaged it, but it probably won't go now until I get back. Well, I made it all the way round before the postman got here. But I know I can hear that van out there. And I can hear his door shutting. He's probably a few doors away now. But I've done it all the way around. So there we go. I'll hold it up. It's getting quite a size. There we are. Look at that. So this is the part that I'm not absolutely keen on. So I'm going to put something over that bit. Just a little thing. Oh, I can do this now. Hello. Excuse the hair, by the way. I've just washed it. It's wet. And so, yeah, it's drying. But it is very clammy and wet. Anyway, thank you for watching. And let me know if you want me to do a tutorial for the scarf. And Postman's here. So I will see you on the next one, guys. Bye for now.